Thanks for joining us today on the Daily Edition. She's an Australian TV icon. Belinda Giblin's live on those wacky, soapy plot twists and the new role that's ripped straight from the headlines.
Then he's back. Michael Bublé touches down in Australia with a message for fans.
Plus, her uncle was one of our biggest cricket stars. Well, now, Alyssa Healy opens up about her rise to the top.
And get ready to dial the cute factor up to 10. We meet the woman named Australia's best baby photographer again.
Time now to get the latest from the 7 Newsroom. Thanks, Ryan.
Tom, Sally, good to be with you both. Good afternoon, everyone. A murder investigation is underway after a body was found in a Sydney park. A council worker made the grim discovery near a children's playground in Buffalo Creek Reserve at Hunters Hill around 7:30 this morning.
Body found in a park near a main road, and we don't have a cause of death. So at this stage, definitely suspicious. And like I said, being investigated by Ryde Police Area Command and the Homicide Squad.
Police say they can't confirm the victim's age or gender at this stage. A 45-year-old man has died after being pulled from the water in Sydney's east. A member of the public noticed the swimmer in trouble earlier this morning and brought him ashore at Wanda Beach. They carried out CPR before paramedics arrived and took over, but he could not be revived and he died at the scene. The cost of feminine hygiene products will fall next year after the states and territories agreed to scrap the unpopular tampon tax. Women have been paying a 10% tax on sanitary products which are deemed a luxury item, but products like condoms, lubricant and Viagra are exempt.
This is a long overdue reform which will put more money into the hip pockets of Australian households.
The changes will come into effect from January 1. Australian medical staff are heading to Indonesia's tsunami disaster zone as part of a $5 million government aid package. They'll provide desperately needed care as the death toll passes 1,300. Monique Dirks is in Palu, one of the worst hit areas.
Well, more aftershocks here this morning have rattled nerves again. Police were forced to fire warning shots into crowds at the airport yesterday in Palu when thousands of people stormed an aid worker truck trying to get their hands on food, water and fuel. There are fears still dozens of people are buried under rubble like this one behind me, Palu's major shopping centre, and some of the smaller villages are still yet to be accessed. In the tsunami-ravaged city of Palu, time is running out in the frantic search for survivors. Dozens of people feared trapped under the crumpled remains of this hotel, the city close to the epicentre of Friday's quake. Rescuers are using sniffer dogs. Voices and tapping could be heard from beneath the concrete. Now, only silence. Once thriving communities wiped out. 900 families in this affluent area of Palu had their lives torn apart. This satellite photo shows the area of Balawarra before the quake hit. This is how it looks today. For the survivors, it's a desperate situation. The Red Cross is describing it as nightmarish. They're running out of food, water, fuel and patience. Aid is slowly getting through. The Australian government has boosted its assistance. A $5 million package will include a team of Australian doctors and nurses dispatched to the disaster zone.
That is 54 medical professionals from Australia in Indonesia establishing a temporary emergency and surgical care field hospital.
Our Air Force also called into action to deliver emergency supplies.
Things like shelter and water, hygiene kits, generators, those supplies are currently in Australia and will be transported by ADF C-130 to the location.
Those not trying to leave do what they can to stay alive as they look for loved ones. This man hasn't seen his daughters since the tsunami.
I haven't found them yet. I've looked around at refugee camps and also at a place where they were sighted, and there's no sign of them. I was told by one of the cleric assistants that none of the children survived.
Supplies are starting to trickle in, but it's few and far between and not nearly enough to help out the tens of thousands of people who are displaced in Palu and the surrounding villages at the moment.
Monique Dirks reporting there. Melania Trump has begun her first big solo international trip as US First Lady. She was greeted by her equivalent in Ghana during the first leg of her 5-day tour of Africa. The First Lady handed out blankets and teddy bears branded with her Be Best Children's Initiative at a local hospital. She also plans to visit Malawi, Kenya and Egypt. Karl Lagerfeld has made waves at Paris Fashion Week, turning the runway into a beach for Chanel's latest spring-summer collection. Models strolled along the sand with the waves at their feet in the incredible indoor setup. Baywatch star Pamela Anderson taking a front row seat next to Pharrell Williams. The collection included Chanel's iconic tweeds in softer summer colours. Extraordinary they were able to pull that off indoors.
Amazing.
Look at that. Looks like a coastline, doesn't it? It's incredible.
All I can hear is the accounts department thinking that is very expensive.
Yeah, exactly. Why didn't you just have it at the beach?
Exactly.
All right, still to come, your first look at the new Roseanne reboot without its main character. Plus, they are the best female cricket team in the world. Now, 2 of our Southern stars reveal why they're leading the charge for women's sport.
But next, a feud is born. Why Lady Gaga's new movie is under fire from fans. Stay with us. We'll be back with more of the Daily Edition right after this.